The system's mission had failed. The pronouncement arrived in Alex's mind with the cold, impersonal tone of an automated message. He stood near the towering floral arrangements, watching Chloe and Liam share a kiss at their engagement party, a tableau of picture-perfect happiness. He calmly picked up a miniature cheesecake from a passing tray and took a bite. He'd already sent a gift from their registry. It seemed only fair to get his money's worth in pastry. A second thought, tinny and insistent, echoed in his head. The system lamented that as a penalty for his failure to win Chloe's affection, he would be stranded in this world, and furthermore, all his assets would be confiscated. All assets? The news was alarming enough to make him grab a second cheesecake. He might as well enjoy it now, before the proverbial rug was pulled from under him. In his assessment, the system bore the full responsibility for this debacle. When he had first been dropped into this life, Chloe and Liam were already 18 years into a childhood sweetheart narrative. They were now classmates at the same university, their lives intertwined in a way that left no room for an outsider. Alex, cast as a fellow physics major, had been relegated to the role of a spectator, watching their daily displays of affection. One day, Liam would bring Chloe her favorite coffee before class. The next, she would be wearing a new scarf he had bought her. There was simply no way in. His one opportunity had come when they had a rare argument. He had found Chloe crying alone on the bleachers overlooking the football field. Seizing the moment, he had put on his most stylish jacket, meticulously styled his hair, and approached her, ready to play the part of the charming, sympathetic stranger. Her first words to him, however, had been a blunt inquiry as to who he was. The carefully constructed smile on his face nearly faltered. Still, he maintained a professional demeanor, introducing himself as Alex, a classmate who had admired her from afar. He gently probed, asking if something was wrong, hoping she would confide in him. If she complained about Liam, he would have his opening. Chloe had wiped her tears and explained that Liam had been seen having lunch with another girl. This was it. Alex launched into a calculated, 30-minute tirade against Liam, painting him as an inconsiderate villain. By the end of it, however, a hesitant Chloe wondered aloud if perhaps they were being too harsh. Undeterred, Alex had then sought out Liam, determined to sow discord from both ends. He described Chloe's state in exaggeratedly tragic terms, emphasizing how only Alex's, comforting presence had managed to bring a smile back to her face. Liam's reaction was not what he expected. A look of sudden understanding dawned on Liam's face as he realized the source of her anger. He thanked Alex profusely for the clarification, a wave of relief washing over him. Alex had a sinking feeling. His intuition was rarely wrong. The next day, Chloe and Liam appeared before him, hand in hand, offering to take him to dinner as thanks for helping them resolve their misunderstanding. A dinner for three felt less like gratitude and more like a public humiliation. He accepted. He would channel his frustration into his appetite and eat them into bankruptcy. Liam had sent him the address, which led not to a fancy restaurant but to a bustling, perpetually crowded food truck park by the harbor. The air was thick with the scent of fried food and salty sea air. Liam had the grace to look embarrassed, explaining that he had planned for a steakhouse, but Chloe had been craving lobster rolls. Another win for the happy couple. At least Chloe had the decency to invite a fourth person so he wouldn't be a lone third wheel, her brother Ethan. The original narrative had provided scant details about him, only that he was incredibly wealthy and the CEO of a major corporation. As Liam and Chloe settled across from him, they immediately fell into their own world. Liam would carefully pick the best pieces of lobster from a roll and offer them to Chloe, who accepted them with a smile. The cycle repeated. It was nauseating. Suddenly, a hand extended towards him. Alex turned to see Ethan, holding out a perfect, glistening piece of lobster meat. Alex opened his mouth and accepted it. It was rich and buttery, a perfect bite that cut through the awkwardness of the evening. Ethan, he decided, was a good man. The meal sparked an idea. If he couldn't get to the girl, perhaps he could get to her brother. He could get close to Ethan, have him put in a good word, and eventually drive a wedge between the main couple. It was a long shot, but it was a plan. The old adage about a man's heart and his stomach came to mind, so he decided he would cook for Ethan. Following an online video tutorial with painstaking precision, he attempted to make gourmet barbecue ribs. The result, however, smelled vaguely of charcoal, and the color was a deep, unappetizing black, nothing like the glossy mahogany in the video. He concluded the video's creator must have used a color filter. He arrived at Ethan's corporate headquarters, a gleaming tower of glass and steel that scraped the sky. The receptionist politely informed him that he needed an appointment. After confirming he had none, she politely showed him out. Left with no other choice, he called Ethan. The phone was answered on the first ring. He simply stated he was outside the building, and the line went dead. Just as he was about to give up and leave, Ethan burst through the revolving doors, out of breath, his forehead dotted with sweat. He looked surprised to see Alex there. Alex just held up the food container, offering it as an explanation. Ethan took the container, opened it, and examined a blackened rib with intense scrutiny before finally taking a bite. He then asked Alex if he had tried any himself. Alex shook his head, still naively confident in his culinary skills. A visible wave of relief washed over Ethan as he pulled the container protectively closer. Alex found it amusingly endearing, this sudden possessiveness over food. It reminded him of someone else from a long time ago. He quickly shook the memory away. He made a routine of it, showing up with his culinary experiments, rain or shine. Ethan always accepted the food, though he ate very little of it. Alex began to worry that his target might starve to death before his plan could succeed. Then, Liam handed him an invitation to his and Chloe's engagement party. Alex was stunned. It had only been a few months since he'd last paid them any attention, and they were already getting engaged. Liam, mistaking his hesitation for reluctance, pressed the thick cardstock into his hand with solemn gravity. He insisted that Alex was their Cupid, the one who had cleared up the misunderstanding that led to the early proposal. He even promised Alex could be the best man at the wedding. Alex felt his breath catch in his throat. He wished the happy couple would lock themselves away and swallow the key. His phone buzzed. A bank alert. Balance 000. He tried to bargain with the system, arguing that it shared the blame for the failed mission. The system's mental reply was a concise dismissal of the idea. He checked his pockets and found $2 bills, just enough for a slice of pizza. As he reached for them, they vanished into thin air. He mentally cursed the system, demanding to know if it really needed to take physical currency. If he starved, it would lose its host. The system coolly informed him that his mission was already over. Then why was it still here? It would leave, it explained, once he expired. Starving was not an option. He walked up to a pizza-by-the-slice joint, put on his most charming smile, and asked the man behind the counter if he could spare a slice. The man smiled back just as brightly and said no. Alex switched tactics, weaving a sob story about being robbed and not having eaten in 3 days. The system chimed in his head again, asking who exactly he was calling a thief. He ignored it. A familiar voice cut through his performance. "I'll take 10 slices." He turned to see Ethan holding a wallet. Ethan took the box of pizza from the owner and gestured towards Alex with it, a brow raised in question. Alex nodded enthusiastically. Ethan then handed him a few sheets of paper. He said that if Alex wanted to eat, he had to sign. At the top of the document, in bold letters, were the words, "Personal Services Agreement." Alex stared at Ethan, wondering if the man needed a medical evaluation. He pointed out the obvious: he was a man. Ethan replied that he was tired of fending off advances from women and needed a male companion to act as a deterrent. It was the most absurdly arrogant thing Alex had ever heard. He signed his name without another thought. Being a kept man was infinitely better than starvation. Ethan tossed him a designer suit. The instructions were simple: wear it to a gala that evening. His payment would be $10,000. The event was a dizzying affair of clinking glasses and muted chatter. While Ethan networked, Alex gravitated towards the dessert table. The cakes were even better than the ones at Chloe and Liam's party. "Who did you come with, pretty boy?" A blonde man with a smug look, smelling of expensive cologne, stood before him. Alex glanced around for Ethan but couldn't see him. The man stepped closer, reaching for Alex's arm. Alex instinctively recoiled. He hated being touched. A spike of irritation shot through him. He briefly wondered how much it would cost to punch someone like this and whether Ethan's contract covered assault charges. The man's face darkened. He told Alex not to play coy, that he would pay any price for a night together. Alex stared at the man's jaw, mapping the trajectory for a perfect right hook. "Get away from him." Ethan's voice was a low growl from behind them. He grabbed Alex's wrist, his grip firm but not painful. The blonde man's arrogance evaporated, replaced first by shock, then by pure terror. He stammered an apology to Ethan, slapping his own face twice for emphasis, professing his ignorance that Alex was with him. Then he scurried away. Ethan looked Alex over, his eyes scanning for any sign of distress. Alex shook his head. He was fine. If Ethan had been a minute later, the other man wouldn't have been. The quantum mechanics lecture was mind-numbingly dull. The old professor scribbled complex equations across the blackboard, a sea of English letters and numbers with no context for Alex. His mind drifted. Someone nudged him sharply. A classmate whispered that the professor was calling his name. The room had fallen silent, and every eye was on him. The professor pointed to a problem on the board and asked Alex to solve it. He walked to the front of the room. The problem was complex but not difficult. He picked up a piece of chalk and solved it with a method that was elegant and efficient. When he finished, the professor began to clap, a slow, deliberate sound that startled Alex. The old man, his eyes alight with academic fervor, asked him where he had learned that particular method, as it had never been taught in his class. Alex, momentarily flustered, just mumbled that he had learned it on his own. The professor's eyes widened. "You're a genius, Alex. You're a genius." It was a phrase he had heard his entire life, often followed by another: "You have Asperger's." He was a cliché, the lonely genius. He didn't have friends, nor did he feel the need for them. He disliked physical contact and found most social interaction to be an exhausting exercise in decoding meaningless subtleties. Until he met Julian. Julian had been his rival in college, a top student from another state who had never known defeat until he lost to Alex in a physics competition by a razor-thin margin. He became obsessed, constantly pestering Alex for a rematch. Alex found him annoying but eventually grew accustomed to his presence. Julian wasn't content with just being a rival. He insisted they become friends. He would drag Alex to basketball games, his vibrant energy a stark contrast to Alex's quiet solitude. On the court, Julian was all bright smiles and effortless grace. Alex watched from the stands, feeling like a shadow. How could someone like him be friends with someone like that? But Julian was persistent. He won Alex over, and they became inseparable. They studied together, argued about physics, and Julian would always praise him whenever he came up with a new, brilliant solution. He grabbed Alex's hand once, his eyes shining, and told him he was destined for a career in research. Alex hadn't been interested, but he went along with it for Julian's sake. After graduation, they shared an apartment. Julian started a business, while Alex pursued his Ph.D. and began working in a lab. They did everything together, from seeing movies to eating dessert at a small cafe near Julian's office. Alex loved their Black Forest cake, and Julian would often bring a slice home for him. It was Julian who made him feel human, a person with a heartbeat and warmth. He had once asked Julian if they could be friends forever, and Julian had said yes. But he had broken his promise. 5 years before Alex arrived in this world, Julian had simply vanished. One morning, he was just gone. No note, no trace. It was as if he had never existed. Alex had searched for him frantically, contacting old classmates and colleagues. But no one knew who he was talking about. They had never heard of a Julian. The terrifying thought occurred to him that perhaps he was truly insane. That Julian was a figment of his imagination, a companion he had invented to cope with his loneliness. He had lived with a ghost for 10 years. He was a freak after all. The old professor, a world-renowned physicist, invited Alex to join his research project. Alex refused. He avoided anything that reminded him of Julian, of the life he wasn't sure was even real. He couldn't afford to hold on to the memory of a person who never existed, yet he was terrified to let it go. He was the only one who remembered him. After class, he was herded into the auditorium for a guest lecture by a distinguished alumnus. When he arrived, Ethan was already on stage, his impressive resume displayed on a large screen behind him. He spoke with a captivating confidence, and the students listened, enthralled. He was just like Julian, radiant, a natural star. When the lecture ended, students swarmed him. The noise was overwhelming. As Alex tried to slip away, a classmate stopped him, praising his intelligence and asking if they could study together. Before Alex could refuse, Ethan's voice cut in from behind him. He took Alex's hand, politely declining on his behalf. Alex remembered his role. The financier had spoken. After dismissing the student, Ethan kept hold of his hand and announced they were going out. They ended up at a movie theater. The film was about lovers separated by war who find each other again years later. Afterward, Ethan asked him what he thought of the plot. Alex, processing it through his usual lens, replied that from a scientific standpoint, considering the principles of intermolecular forces, a broken mirror could never truly be made whole again. From there, Ethan took him to a dessert shop and ordered him a slice of Black Forest cake. His favorite. Only Julian had known that. How could Ethan possibly know? Alex looked up at Ethan, and for a dizzying moment, his face morphed into Julian's. He was losing his mind. Ethan's voice, asking if he didn't like the cake, pulled him back to reality. He forced himself to take a bite. It was bitter, not as good as the cake he used to share with Julian. That night, Ethan invited him to his penthouse for dinner. As a man of professional integrity, he had to accept. The apartment was minimalist and stunning, with a view that stretched across the entire city. The table was set for two, with an array of gourmet dishes and 2 bottles of wine. Ethan poured him a glass. Alex figured drinking with his patron was part of the job description, so he downed it in one go. Ethan's hand, which had been moving to clink glasses, froze in midair. To rectify the awkwardness, Alex immediately poured another glass, clinked it against Ethan's, and drank that one too. He couldn't stop. He didn't know how many glasses he'd had, but the profound sadness he carried was still there. He just wanted to find Julian. Ethan tried to stop him, but Alex pushed his hand away. He grabbed the bottle and began to drink directly from it. There was a crash as Ethan snatched the bottle and threw it to the floor, where it shattered. Alex's vision blurred. He felt something cold and wet on his cheeks. He was crying. He couldn't see Ethan's face clearly anymore. He leaned in closer and closer still, until Ethan's arms wrapped around his waist. Ethan whispered in his ear, "My genius, I'm Julian." The alcohol made it impossible to think, to tell if he was hallucinating. He decided to believe it. The grief and loneliness of the past 5 years surged through him, and he collapsed into Ethan's arms, sobbing, asking where he had been, why everyone said he didn't exist. Then Ethan's lips were on his. He kissed him until Alex was breathless. When he pulled away, Alex was still reeling. 5 years of absence, and this was his greeting? He decided two could play at that game. He lunged forward to kiss him back. The world spun, and he found himself on a bed. He felt a cool draft as his clothes were removed. That wasn't fair. He had to remove Ethan's too. Pain. Everything ached. He was never drinking again. He noticed strange marks on his skin, a constellation of bruises and bite marks. Had Ethan attacked him? Why? Could he sue for damages? The memories of the previous night came flooding back in a mortifying rush. The bedroom door creaked open, and Ethan peeked in. Seeing Alex was awake, he entered with a glass of honeyed water. Then, to Alex's utter shock, Ethan knelt on one knee and produced a small box. Inside was a diamond ring. He asked Alex to marry him. Alex's mind went blank. The resemblance between Ethan and Julian was more than just a feeling. It was in the way he moved, the cadence of his voice, the look in his eyes. He had been using Ethan as a surrogate for Julian from the moment they met. He had agreed to the arrangement not for the money, but for the proximity to this man who felt like a ghost. He had to tell him the truth. "Ethan," he began, his voice steady despite the turmoil inside him. "You don't understand. I'm not well." He explained about the Asperger's, about the friends he never had, and about the person he had invented to cope. His name was Julian, he said, the words tearing at old wounds. "I imagined him, our life together. And you are so much like him, everything except your face. It's so similar that I thought, I'm sorry." He couldn't finish. Ethan's mouth was on his again, silencing him. He kissed him again and again, pushing Alex back against the pillows. His body was warm and solid against his. "You're not crazy, Alex," Ethan said, his hand caressing his cheek. "I'm the one who should be sorry. I thought you would have recognized me." He looked directly into Alex's eyes. "My genius, I am Julian. I was brought here 5 years ago, and I've been trying to find a way back ever since. Then you showed up. Alex, I'm in love with you. Will you be my boyfriend?" Alex refused. He couldn't. The Julian he knew deserved a brilliant life, not to be shackled to a mess like him. He deserved a normal life, a family. Even if he was interested in men, that man shouldn't be Alex. Ethan's face fell, the light in his eyes dimming. The system's voice made a final appearance. It had good news and bad news. The bad news was that due to a bug, his mission target had never been Chloe. It was Ethan. Alex was speechless. How could it make a mistake like that? The good news, the system continued, was that according to its sensors, Ethan's affection level for Alex had been at 100% from the moment they met. It then congratulated him on his success and asked if he wished to return to his original world. No, he didn't want to go back. Julian wasn't there. The system announced his departure and then vanished. He felt a strange emptiness. And then he realized his money was still gone. The system had left without returning his assets. Chloe and Liam invited him to dinner again. He went, if only for the free meal. Liam was now calling him bro and begging him to put in a good word with Ethan so he would approve of the marriage. Chloe kicked him under the table, then turned to Alex with a complicated expression. She told him Ethan was on a hunger strike, threatening suicide. She asked if Alex could please talk to him. Alex found the idea of the cheerful, confident Ethan being suicidal utterly unbelievable. Chloe explained that he had done it once before, 5 years ago, when he was desperately trying to get back to his husband. When they had asked who this husband was, Ethan had said his name was Alex. Now, he was saying his husband didn't want him anymore. She begged Alex, if Ethan had wronged him, to beat him up, do whatever he needed to do, but please just get him to eat something. The beef stir-fry he was making looked nothing like the one in the online video. His color was a mystery. He must have a unique culinary talent. He carried the container to Ethan's penthouse. Ethan answered the door looking disheveled, wearing pajamas, and immediately shut it in his face. A moment later, the door reopened. Ethan was now in a tailored suit, smelling faintly of cologne. Alex presented the stir-fry. Ethan's face tensed, a look Alex misinterpreted as being moved by the gesture. Ethan ordered takeout. He claimed Alex's cooking was too precious to eat, a work of art to be preserved. It was a plausible explanation. After they ate, Ethan asked him not to leave. Alex repeated, more firmly this time, I'm not a normal person. Ethan simply replied, you're a genius. And you're my husband. Alex decided staying wasn't such a bad idea. After Ethan showered, he returned with a strange, predatory look in his eyes. Alex regretted his decision. Ethan was not a cheerful puppy. He was a wolf who liked to bite. Ethan was right. Alex shouldn't waste his talent. He went back to the old professor, who clasped his hands and welcomed his prodigal son back to the world of physics. He was immediately put to work in the lab. Late that evening, a text came from Ethan. Barbecue tonight, followed by a happy dog emoji. It didn't matter which world he was in. All that mattered was whether he was there. From Julian's perspective, my name is Julian. I first noticed Alex at the physics competition I lost. It was the first time I hadn't come in first, and I needed to see who beat me. He was beautiful. I challenged him to a rematch. He ignored me. I decided I had to win him over, and I did. After we graduated, we lived together. He was a true genius, and I was so proud to watch him succeed. The man who could solve the universe's greatest mysteries, however, could not cook. I still have nightmares about his black-colored fried potato slivers. I ate the entire plate, my phone open to 911 just in case. I told him it was so delicious I couldn't bear to share it. For the sake of my own survival, I became a very good cook. Then, just as I was about to confess my feelings for him, I was transported here, into the body of some guy named Ethan, with a tycoon system demanding I become a billionaire. But what about Alex? My Alex? I threatened the system with suicide, and it finally relented, promising to bring him to me if I completed my mission. Took me 5 years. The system told me its colleague would bring Alex over to pursue me. I was ecstatic at the thought. I miscalculated. I should have known Alex's logical brain wouldn't concoct a conventional courtship. His idea of romance was to bring me his personally made, life-threatening food every day. I was close to surrendering just to make it stop. Then my old system returned, apologizing. His colleague had assigned Alex the wrong target. My sister, Chloe. His mission was now a failure and he was broke. It was probably for the best. I wasn't sure I could have survived his attempts at seduction by cooking. I had plenty of money. I drew up an agreement and hired him myself. My Alex was finally back. I tried to drop hints to recreate our old dates. The movie, the Black Forest cake. He didn't get it. He was a genius in everything but this. I couldn't wait any longer. I planned a dinner, had the ring ready, but he got drunk and had an emotional breakdown. He thought I was a hallucination. I held him and told him the truth. Then I kissed him. He kissed me back. Competition is competition. I wasn't going to lose this time. He rejected my proposal. Said he was a freak. He is not. He is my genius. It broke my heart to learn what he'd been through, thinking he was insane for 5 years. I blamed the systems. It was time for drastic measures. I went on a hunger strike. It worked. He came to me bringing a questionable beef dish. He was here. That's all the nourishment I needed. Now Alex is back in the lab. My genius, shining brightly, right where he belongs. And he is mine.